Naturally, we spent a lot of time visiting the sacred places of the Inca and the pre-Inca people while we were on the vision quest. But each place that we visited, each day that passed, each ceremony that we did took us deeper into the mystery, deeper into the sacred. So this what you see here is the courtyard outside a temple called Koricancha in Cusco. Now Cusco used to be the capital city of the Inca Empire, and Koricancha was the most sacred temple. It was adorned with sheets of gold, the walls, the floors, laid with gold. Then in this courtyard were life-size gold figures of animals and things like that, a solid gold altar. And then there was also the golden sun disk, which was this big giant disk made of gold that reflected the sunlight and bathed the temple in it. It must have glowed. And when you think about the energy of the sun combined with the energetic properties of gold, that must have been a very powerful place as well. So while we were in Cusco, we got to see the remnants of many of these temples. And what Don Victor was pointing out to us as we walked through the city was how the Inca and the pre-Inca used sacred geometry and their knowledge of energetic forces in their architecture and in the way they planned their city. And it became very, very clear, as I mentioned already, that these people were experts in how to direct energy. So the longer that you're on a quest, the more you connect with the sacred aspect of things. What you see here is the remains of a fortress at a place called Sacsayhuaman. And some of the stones here weigh as much as 80 tons. This place is phenomenal. And while we were there, our shaman had us do an exercise, and it was an exercise to connect with the rock. So we stood close to the rock, facing it, almost kind of hugging it. And what was so amazing was that the stones seemed to have hearts. They had these warm spots in them. We started connecting with a consciousness that was alive inside these rocks. So one of us heard the rocks talking, and we were each at a different rock. And for me, it was like my rock was almost human and hugged me. I had the same sensation as if I was a child laying on my father's chest. So there's this progressive opening of your inner senses when you take a quest like this. You start to develop a spiritually intimate relationship with everything around you. In shamanism, there is the understanding that everything has a consciousness, everything is alive. And so here, for example, you see what's called a lukma tree. And this particular tree that you're looking at is about 700 years old, and it still bears fruit, which is delicious, by the way. Imagine the stories, imagine the wisdom that a tree like this could share with you. When you're walking into the sacred, there's this deepening process, a connection process that starts to happen. And during that process, you go through this spiritual reorientation where you start to redirect where you send your energy, where you send your attention. So why are these places so powerful? Well, Peru, and Cusco specifically, is considered the solar plexus of the earth. And the Andes Mountains are considered the spine of the Andean world. So that's almost like the Kundalini energy. And the Kundalini energy is kind of like spiritual DNA. And it's an evolutionary type of energy. So there are natural energy vortices at these places in Peru. So then when you combine, you add to that the fact that they're building these sacred sites using sacred geometry on top of these natural vortices that really creates and magnifies the power that is already naturally there. And they not only built their temples that way, their buildings that way, they planned their cities that way too. The cities are in alignment with the natural energy lines of the land. Come walk with shamans this summer. It's a magical adventure and a life-changing opportunity to study with master shamans and to experience the incredible for yourself. Go to www.walkingwithshamans.com for a day-by-day itinerary and all the trip details. There's limited space on the Vision Quest, so reserve your spot now at www.walkingwithshamans.com. I'm Dr. Antonia M., and I hope to see you there.